Hello and welcome to Castles and Legends. We're up in the Lake District today at Greystoke Castle. I'm really excited about this castle. It's only been open to the public since last year for tours, so it's exciting to have a look around. We have actually just had our tour. We didn't know if we'd be able to get any footage inside, but we were, so I can show you inside today. I hope you enjoy the tour and enjoy the history. The origins of Greystoke Castle date back nearly 1,000 years. Following the Norman conquest, the English noble Leofwulf de Greystoke was reinstated to his lands in 1069 and built a wooden peel tower on the site, marking the earliest phase of the castle's history. A peel tower is a small fortified keep that was commonly built along the Anglo-Scottish border. Their main function was defence, and they were normally square or rectangular in shape, at least 3 stories high and normally freestanding. In 1129, Leofwulf's grandson, Ivo, rebuilt the peel tower in stone and extended it. At some point, a chapel was added, which may have been built by 1300. However, it was not until 1353 that a license to crenellate, that is, fortify the castle, was granted to William de Greystoke by King Edward III, and Greystoke became a true castle. William de Greystoke, 2nd Baron Greystoke, had a distinguished military career. He fought on the English side during the 100 Years' War between England and France, and was present at the Siege of Calais in 1346. He served under Edward, the Black Prince, during campaigns in France, and later joined the Northern Crusades led by Henry of Grosmont, 1st Duke of Lancaster, in Prussia from 1351 to 1352. In the early 1350s, Greystoke was involved in negotiations for the release of King David II of Scotland, who had been captured at the Battle of Neville's Cross on the 17th of October 1346. He was appointed captain of Berwick-upon-Tweed, but his absence, due to ongoing military service in France, meant he was not present when the town fell to the Scots in August 1355. In recognition of his service, he was granted a royal license to crenellate in 1353, after which Greystoke Castle underwent further expansion. It is believed the castle was transformed into a quadrangular structure with 4 corner towers. In the early 16th century, Greystoke Castle passed into the hands of the wealthy Dacre family through marriage. However, this ownership was short-lived, as the estate soon transferred again, also through marriage, into the powerful Howard family. Following the death of Thomas Dacre, 4th Baron Dacre, in 1566, his widow, Elizabeth, inherited his lands and secretly married Thomas Howard, the 4th Duke of Norfolk. However, this marriage was sadly cut short, as Elizabeth died in childbirth the following year. Her son, George, along with his 3 sisters, were left orphaned in the household of their stepfather, the Duke Thomas Howard. When George died in 1569, the 3 daughters became co-heiresses to Greystoke Castle. By the time each girl had reached the age of 14, they had all been married to the Duke's sons, their stepbrothers, ensuring that Greystoke Castle remained securely within the Howard family. During the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, Thomas Howard, 4th Duke of Norfolk, initially enjoyed royal favour and was appointed a Knight of the Garter. However, in 1571, he became entangled in the infamous Redulfie Plot, a conspiracy to depose the Protestant Queen, liberate the the imprisoned Catholic Mary, Queen of Scots, and place her on the throne, with Thomas as her husband. The plot was uncovered before it could be carried out, and Thomas, along with his fellow conspirators, were arrested, tried for high treason, and sentenced to death. Despite his betrayal, it appears Elizabeth retained some affection for him, hesitating to sign the execution warrant. However, under increasing pressure from Parliament, she eventually relented, and Thomas Howard was executed by beheading at Tower Hill on the 2nd of June, 1572. In 1642, the English Civil War broke out between Parliament and the Crown over the future governance of the country. The Howard family, staunch Catholics, supported the Royalist cause against the parliamentarians. In 1648, Greystoke Castle was besieged and captured by parliamentarian forces led by General Lambert. By the end of the conflict, the castle had been largely destroyed and subsequently abandoned. In the 1840s, Greystoke Castle was revitalised through the vision and skill of renowned architect Anthony Salvin. Salvin rebuilt and expanded the castle, thoughtfully incorporating its historic elements, including the original pele tower, and created a modern working farm estate. Tragedy struck again in 1868 when a maid accidentally left a lit candle in a linen cupboard. The resulting fire spread rapidly, devastating large sections of the castle. Henry Howard once again turned to Salvin to oversee the restoration. The reconstruction was carried out using materials sourced from within the estate. In a remarkable act of integrity, Henry even returned a portion of the insurance payout, believing he had been overcompensated for the damage. Greystoke was allowed a few further years of peace until the onset of the Second World War, when it returned to military action after the army commandeered the estate to use as a tank driver's training ground. The castle also became a prisoner of war camp, primarily housing Polish men who had fought alongside the Germans. These prisoners contributed to the local war effort by working on nearby farms, helping to fill the labour shortage left by local men serving in the military. Although the castle helped the war efforts, it suffered significant damage. When it was finally returned to the Howard family in 1949, it had been badly damaged. Again, the Howard family set about the slow, long process of restoring the castle. In recent years, Greystoke Castle has undergone significant change. Faced with high costs of upkeep, the Howard family made the difficult decision to sell many of the castle's historic contents, including furniture and portraits, at auction in 2021. The following year, in 2022, they offered the castle on a long-term lease. However, with the building in need of extensive restoration and requiring substantial financial investment, few were willing to take on the challenge. It was entrepreneur Tom Nash who took the challenge on. Nash has already renovated several rooms and gardens, and for the first time he's opened the castle to the public for tours. One interesting point he made on our tour is that there are very few images of the front of the castle, leading him to believe or wonder whether the main entrance was actually at the rear. Some other intriguing points he noted is that due to the thickness of the walls in places and voids, he believes that there may well be hidden passages or rooms yet to be discovered.
What a fascinating castle. I really enjoyed looking around Greystoke today, and it's a work in progress. There's a lot of refurbishment Thomas Nash is still doing on the castle, so it'd be really intriguing to come back here sometime in the future and see the finished result. But what a beautiful place with such a long history. Well, I hope you've enjoyed having a look around today with us. If you have, then please give a video a like. Let us know what you thought of the castle. And I hope to see you again very soon. Bye for now.